It's time for a K-pop tier list, and I thought let's do it about girl groups, and I'm gonna rank all the girl groups that have existed in K-pop history in a tier list that I have right in front of me right now that I'm gonna show you in a second. Obviously, there's probably gonna be some of them that I don't recognize. I'm sorry, I might know them, but you know, it is what it is. It's fucking almost 6 a.m. and I'm doing this fucking video. Anyway, let's get right into it. As you can see in the tier list, we start from the top. GOAT. These for me are the greatest groups of all time, the best discographies, the most impactful, and all of that. Then we have great, really good, but there's something that doesn't allow them to get to the GOAT level. Then we have good groups that release music consistently, that it's enjoyable. Overrated groups that I think they're overrated by fans. I mean, they're bad or good. I just think they're overrated, and I think that, you know, that's what they deserve to be. Underrated groups that nobody talks about, and I think that they should deserve more. Then we have subpar groups that just never really do more than, you know, the basic need of a K-pop group, really. Like, they never go above that 50% bar, which is kind of sad. Then we have bad groups. There's not going to be a lot of them because in K-pop, I think in general bad groups are not really a thing, but you never know. And then we have not utilized properly, and the reason why it's below, because I think there's nothing worse than a group that it's not utilized properly, even though they're good. And then we have don't know to listen, which can happen. So let's get right into it with Kara. So Kara is a group that was pretty popular at one point in K-pop. You know, they were as popular as Miss A. They were never like Girls' Generation or 21, obviously, but I feel like, you know, you have to give them credit. You know, they had left a little bit of an impact, and I think that, you know, even though their impact is a little bit overrated by fans, because I don't think Kara was this like super important group, they still were great, and they still had an importance in K-pop history that cannot be denied or diminished, in my opinion. So they go in great. Chris Cry, I've heard, I think, a couple of songs about them. I just don't think they were utilized properly, and that's it. Laboom. Oh, I definitely think Laboom is underrated. I mean, for the type of group that they are, like, the quality of the music, the consistency, you know, it's just weird that they never were able to go to the next level. I don't know if it was because of how they were marketed, the fact that they barely appeared on variety show apart from their, you know, the face of the group. Everybody else was never appearing, and so probably that hurt kind of like the relatability for fans towards the group. But I mean, apart from that, they're a really underrated group. Of course, they're not like underutilized because they were releasing music constantly until like 2019, 2020, so I can't be too much of a hater. Laboom is an underrated group. Ladies Code. Oh, Ladies Code, fuck me. I would say not utilized properly, okay? And we know what happened with Ladies Code. We know the accident that ended up, you know, unfortunately a member passing away, and there was a lot of scandals because of that, and people stopped like following the group, and they took a huge hiatus. They came back, and their comeback was good, and then disappeared again. I just feel like their company never really used them in any way. Like, they waited years before they had a comeback, and the girls are extremely talented, but it is what it is. You know, a tragedy, unfortunately, led the group to be stalled for so long that the company just didn't know what to do with it. Lime Soda. They're not a bad group, but I just think they're like subpar. They just do the minimum required, and that's really it. Luna, so this might be controversial, but I felt like, considering the start that Luna had in their career as a group and everything, and this push they had at one point on social media in the West, the fact that I have barely heard anything about them in recent memory, even when they drop, it's kind of worrisome. And on top of that, I feel like fans have done such a good job at alienating anybody who wasn't in the fandom that people just start hating Luna as a basic thing on the internet. So I feel like this is mainly the fans' fault, but I still have to say that they're just a good group. In my opinion, I can't put them in great. They haven't released enough music, and you know, you have to constantly release music. Kara did it for some time. Luna did a couple of BPs and disappeared into the wilderness, which is sad. Nine Muses. Easily one of the most overrated groups of all time. I mean, listen, I like Nine Muses as much as the other guy who's attracted to women, but as a group, they barely had any sort of impact in the industry. And give credit to their company because they understood that at the time there was a vacant spot for the group of hotties to push, but the music was never really there. And again, they pushed Kyungri a lot, they pushed a couple of other members a lot, but that was it. They never pushed everybody, they never tried to really make them relatable. They tried to get them to variety shows and everything, but I also think the documentary that BBC made about them and the company didn't help them with Western fans in 2013 and 2014. Let's just say it that way. So this is where it's gonna go. Lovelyz. I feel like Lovelyz was just a good group. Solid group with good music. Nothing crazy about them, nothing that really stands out. They have good members, but I just feel like the company, they never had that momentum, because when Lovelyz debuted and started getting popular, that's when Kpop transitioned from a lot of cute styles to more edgy and more so-called mature styles. So it ended up hindering their momentum a little bit, where Jiffy at the point already was viral and it didn't matter what they were doing. So it is what it is. Mamamoo, I think we don't even have to talk about it personally. Goats, I think they're one of the most consistent K-pop groups in terms of quality, concepts, vocals. They have some of the greatest vocalists. I think the best probably female rapper in K-pop history, and I think he's one of the best for sure. And they constantly release music. I remember when they were in 2018, they decided to release 4 albums. Was it in 2017? I think it was in 2018. And I was like, it's not gonna work, and it worked perfectly. Every album was superb, really good music. I was honestly surprised. I definitely can see a future when Momo is not gonna be around anymore, but regardless of that, what they did was a match, and a match, and it's still a match in my opinion, because being able to transition from so different concepts, it's crazy, and all the members are very successful in their own life, which is good, and they're all icons, I would say, but only time will tell that. Matilda, I mean, I thought they were always okay, so they're gonna go here. Maywish, I've heard some songs from them, but nothing that really stands out, so I'm just gonna really put them here, honestly. Melody, I don't know. Mercury, don't remember. Miss A, oof. So Miss A, I don't know if I should put them in grade like Kara or Ghost, because as much as Miss A was really important, they had some of the most iconic K-pop songs of all time. Again, I don't really remember the albums that much. I should probably re-listen to them, but regardless of that, the impact and the iconic members, and again the iconic concepts, the songs stayed so much in history that I can't not put them in GOAT status regardless of anything else. 110, oh no, what is it? Momoland, Momoland. They go next to 9 Muses with Overrated. Now, people might say, what do you mean overrated? Do they deserve this label? I do think that for a group that achieved what they did, to me, it's unacceptable that this type of groups can release a song like Boom Boom, which was fresh, different, and new, and then have a company push us the same thing over and over again. And then it didn't help, because Momoland was having members that, again, they finished in controversies. They weren't bowing to their seniors. They were, as far as the rumors go, Nancy was an asshole to everybody. Some members didn't like each other. They didn't want to be in the group, and that just hindered the momentum of the group, specifically I would say musically, because the group had its stay power in K-pop, but it completely died in the span of a year and a half. I think this is the first time, I think since New West, that I've seen something like that, where a group has such a big song and then they just go nowhere. It was crazy to me to see. Nancy left to something else. I know other members that left have been doing other things, but yes, of course, a lot of the hate was unwarranted, but I think Momoland's company and the group itself didn't do its best to really, push the group towards the right direction. I think compared to what they achieved, they are an overrated group. I can't put them in not utilized properly because they've had a lot of successful comebacks. It's just that their music and them as a group are overrated in the greatness of K-pop history, specifically compared to some of the tops that, even if I compare them to Luna, I mean, Luna qualitatively, just in terms of music, is way better, and you can't really argue that Momolent's impact in K-pop even exists. It doesn't. Imagine if Luna had a song like Momoland. Their impact would be, in terms of how big it would be insane, or lovely. It probably would have changed the game in 2014, and it didn't. So, definitely an overrated group. Nature. I think it's... Actually, I need another... Let's put another tier, okay? Let's just put okay. Okay, okay group. And I think Nature is an okay group. They release good solid music, they do their thing, they don't stand out. I think in the greatness of K-pop, they're not bad, but I can't even say they're good. Oh, Neon Punch. I actually like Neon Punch. I think they're already a good group. Good music, a lot of releases. Not as active in recent memory, but still a good group in my opinion. Oh My Jewel. Oh My Girl. I think Oh My Girl is all in all an okay group, because I felt like after the rock start and they released some good songs, they had their own style of music that was quite different than everybody else. To me, it seemed like they really conformed, and overall, by conforming, it's gonna be more popular. You're gonna make the sounds that everybody listens to, but you're just a forgettable group. And they had a lot of potential, but again, I can't say their company didn't push them. I can't say they're overrated, because I think they're rated correctly as a popular group. But in terms of music, there's no staying there apart from Closer, in my opinion. And the other one, I think Cupid is the other one. I think they're really good songs. Everything else is just very forgettable. Even their recent comebacks just feel so anonymous, even though they're quality songs, well produced and well sang. Playback. Ooh. I enjoy Playback's music, but I don't remember the last time they had a comeback, so I'm gonna put them here. What the fuck is this? Oh my god, Pristin. I feel like Pristin is one of the biggest what ifs in K-pop history, because they had a rocket start when they came out. They were extremely popular. I think out of all the girl groups that have came out of IOI, probably they were by far the most popular at the time. I'm trying to think. Yeah, because they were more popular than Gugudan, they were definitely more popular than Wiki Meki and WJSN. Why Pledis split them, I will never understand. It makes no sense, even looking after 4 years at this point. Why? You can't tell me it's because they had bad reputation, because who cares? You can't tell me because they weren't selling, because it's not true. I mean, it must be that the girls disliked each other so much that you had to actually disband the group to keep going. It had to be so bad that you legit had to be there as a company and said, we are going to remove this group who's very successful and can put our company to another level, almost similar as Cube. But instead we disband them because we just don't know what to do with them. It's weird, and it's a trend that Pledis never really stopped having, and that's why I feel like even now, every time they debut a group that it's not 17, I'm scared of where this group is gonna go, because you just never know with this type of companies. It's dangerous. Ooh, Purpleback. I want to say Purpleback was not utilized properly. I'll say similarly Rainbow as well, because they were popular, but they would just disappear for time for no reason. Oh my god, Rainia. Rainia is another what if for me, where they were really popular at one point I think in 2012, 2013, and they disappeared. So they go into the not utilized properly. I would dare to say probably underrated as well. I'm gonna put them underrated. I don't think this is Red Velvet, right? Because this is not Red Velvet symbol. What group is this? I know this group, I think. Is this Red Velvet? Let me check. Let's see. Okay, it might be Red Velvet, no? That's Red Velvet. Yeah, it's Red Velvet. Red Velvet, GOATs. In my opinion, they are in that elite of not just great discographies. I think they are in that contention for the greatest discography of all time. I think the most consistent in terms of quality in K-pop right now. Constant releases, album, EPs, different style, different concepts, and they never trend chase. This is the crazy thing. I always say this. Imagine a group who would have had the success of Bad Boy, and then they follow it with Summer Up. It's crazy to me. Every time I think about it, it's mental. Most companies would never do that. You know, most company would. Let me check 1 second. With Power Up, sorry, not Summer Up, Power Up. How many companies would follow up one of the most popular songs, if not the most popular song of all time, with a completely different concept and never look back? It's crazy to me. And it doesn't mean they haven't tried a concept with Psycho or even recently with Phil Marinum or, you know, with Silgin's Irene Duo. They've tried that, but they never trend chased, which is something you can't say about BTS, GOT7, 17, Mamamoo, which I love, but they've trend chased a lot in recent history. What other groups, like EXO, not really, but I mean NCT somewhat, Stray Kids definitely somewhat. Like, you can't say that about almost any group but Red Velvet, and they set the standard for quality. If you want to be somebody that people look in the industry and say you're good, then people would have to look at you and say, do you have a discography similar to them? Because their discography is insane. That's why even aespa, as much as I think there's talent there, I think they just cannot really compete with Red Velvet right now. They're just way better. And I think aespa is in that limbo, which normally SM groups are never in, where they don't really know their concept very well. And therefore their company tries to do so many different things and they just end up being all like mediocre. And that's not good in K-pop. I think it's always better to take a risk and stand out in some way than just be mediocre, really, especially for a big group from a huge company. Of course the numbers are there, but numbers should not matter. Like, we're not like, numbers are not the most important thing in art in general, so whatever. Like, I feel like I know this group, but I can't recognize the symbol. Fuck. Sister, great group. I don't think they have necessarily the discography or the staying power of some of these groups, but they were so iconic at one point. It was crazy. Again, I still think till this day the most surprising disband of all time, because, you know, with 4 minutes and 21 for me, they're the most surprising disbands. It makes no sense. These groups were legit some of the most popular groups in the world, and they disbanded at one point, where in 21 it maybe was more political and stakeholders were in there. Why would Sister, or, you know, at the time even 4 minute disbanding makes no sense? But I think partially it was the company's faults and they didn't understand the potential and the power they had in their hands. I mean, it was a weird time in K-pop anyway. Sonamu, I would say underrated. Sonamu is underrated as well. Speaker, ooh. Speak, I would say they're subpar. I just feel like even though the potential was there, they were never really able to really, you know, capitulate on that. And the music was good, but it was never crazy good. And then they would disappear and come back, and it was weird. It felt like it was a group the company just constructed in such a short amount of time that then once it was out there, they didn't know what to do, and they just kind of slowly faded away. It's the sad truth. Stellar, I think they were okay. I mean, it was mainly about their music videos at the time, and the sexy concept that kept them alive more than anything else. So okay, in my opinion. Sunny Hill. I think they were just bad. I never was a fan of Sunny Hill. And I always thought they were bad. I'm sorry. So they go there. Tiara. Oof. I feel like Tiara was overrated, and like, of course they had their staying power, but I just don't see these like, oh my god, they were icons. The longevity was not there, and I think that while they had a couple of like big songs, you can't compare them to like Sistar, Kara, Misei Mamor, Red Velvet to me. You just can't. And were they a bad group? No, but again, I think they were overrated. Like Mama was not a bad group, but remember the scandals and then the fucking bullshit that was coming out, and they try to have comebacks over comebacks. It never really happened. Like they would tease things and then they would never do it. So Tiara to me is an overrated group. Yes, circumstances did help the group in a negative manner, but they still didn't achieve what they could have, considering the success they had, and their company also didn't do a good job, handling their artist at all. After School, oh my god. I feel like After School was good. The thing with After School is that they tried to do the Japanese AKB thing in Korea and they failed, because they tried to do different units and graduation systems a little bit. It didn't really work, and their most popular members were Nan at the time, and now the other one, I can't remember her name. I think it's Reina is her name. She was also really popular, so they really pushed those two over everybody else. And I just feel like apart from Orange Caramel, no other unit really had any sort of staying power. So they weren't bad. I thought they were good. I think the company tried different things. It didn't work. And maybe if they did it now, maybe it would work a little bit better. I'm not really sure, but who knows. At least they tried, give them that. The Ark. I think the Ark is a good group. Simple as that. Side music. I know they don't exist anymore, I think, right? I don't know if they're still active, but I don't think they exist anymore, right? Yeah, I mean, of course, it's been after a year, but I thought they were good, in my opinion. Tiny G. I just have bad memories, honestly. Twice. Goats. 100% goats. I mean, I think people underrate what they've done, honestly, and how much they achieved. Obviously, they're not underrated. They make 500 million views in every video. Everybody knows who they are. They sell millions of records. I think fans abuse the idea of they're not appreciated enough. They literally sell the most in their company. I'm pretty sure they have the best contracts in their company. They have the most, I think, say in their group, in their things. When Jonghyun walked out, she walked out. Nobody said anything. When people took a break, Mina took a break, JYP said nothing. So I think that's overused a little bit. Also, the fact that JYP didn't really produce their songs after a little bit and let them be themselves. It says a lot about what he actually thinks about the girls. I think fans use that term a little bit too much. Just because people are not like in awe at just Momo walking in the streets, it doesn't mean that people think they're bad people or they're shit. It's just that I'm not a kid and I don't have that cult of personality anymore, at least for the vast majority of celebrities anymore, So that's how I am, but everybody can be the way they are. Still GOAT group, and actually I think music-wise, if you could hold back about their discography in the first year, 2, 3, 4 years, you can't make a case about it anymore in the last two. Constantly releasing good EPs and great albums, where I felt again, last year they had one of the best albums in the world. Both Uni and Unity, I just think that they were subpar groups in my opinion, so they go here. Poor WhatsApp, man. Both WhatsApp and Wannabe to me, they were just not utilized properly. They're good there. I feel like I know this, but I can't recognize the symbol. Wakimeki, I think they've became a good group. At first when they debuted, I was like, I'm not really sure of this concept. They're pushing Doyon a little bit too much up and down our fucking throats. Now, it's a good group with good music, and they're stable. They tour, they have other jobs. I'm happy for the girls. Wonder Girls, goats. They are the true. They are the one who paved the way. Wonder Girls, not BTS. Stop with this notion that BTS paved the fucking way. It was Wonder Girls. If it wasn't for Wonder Girls, nobody would know anything about K-pop in the West in the late 2000s, early 2010s. Give them credit. That's it. Stop giving credit to anything to BTS just because they're the most popular group in the world. If BTS was legit a medium tier group in terms of success in K-pop, you wouldn't be talking about them as if what they are. It's just the numbers, and numbers can't be everything when you judge a group. Wonder Girls have achieved things that are beyond numbers. That's it. There's something we have to do in K-pop more. Respect the OGs, give them credit, do it like hip-hop does. True hip-hop artists do not disrespect people who came before them because I sold more or because I'm more popular. That's some bitch shit. You don't hear Doja Cat, you don't hear Nicki Minaj come and say, what? Lauryn Hill, what a fucking idiot. I outsold her 100 times. Nobody makes that argument, and Lauryn Hill has one album out. One. You will never hear Eminem disrespect EPMD or Public Enemy because he sold 100 times what they did. It's childish, and I hope people understand that when they talk about groups like Wonder Girls, Miss A specifically. Give them credit because they did something when at the time nobody thought they could do it. Anyway, great. They never released a full-length album, but I mean they have some of the most iconic singles of all time. So yes, I don't care about the scandal because it's a messy thing. Mina did something, she probably lied about things. Jimin was overplayed. Cho had her own issues. Soyeon was pushed too much at one point in her career. Chanmi was buried for some time. They were making fun of her weight. It was a very tumultuous time, but AOA, got hit so many times, got shot so many times, so the groups today could actually fucking, make it. And I think AOA was one of these groups that really people were just shitting on for no reason, but Like a Cat, something, something, right now I'm back because it's 6 in the morning, but there's other ones, right? Excuse Me and, Girl Like Me and stuff like that. They're so iconic. They're legit an iconic group, in my opinion. Aping goats. Stop it. Aping staying power is ridiculous. They legit have more staying power than, they have more staying power than 90% of 4th generation groups around that are popular. It's crazy. When you watch some of these a 4th generation group, they're not gonna be around in 2 or 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Probably Aping will be around here for another 10. Of course, they're not gonna be active all year, but they'll come back every 2-3 years, touring, like God does, like Arashi does in Japan, and incredible group. And obviously, their discography is so good, even from early days, and iconic, not just in music but in other forms, drama, variety, modeling, branding. Who can say that? Not a lot of groups actually, whether they're male or female, in my opinion, which is crazy. April, I think they're good. I think they're okay. April is okay. They were never as good as every time I think about April, I realize they're not as good as I think about them every time. Oh, Baby Vox. Not utilized property. Baby Vox had potential, but what the fuck happened to this group? Again, this is one of these groups that when I look back on it, right, and people say, well, no, but Baby Vox was as popular as SES and Finkel, but nobody remembers about Baby Vox at the time unless you're a hardcore K-pop fan. It's crazy to me. Most people know about Finkel or SES. Most people don't even know what the fuck Baby Vox is. So I would say underrated more than not utilized properly. Underrated, in my opinion, but that's how I see it. Very good. subpar. I feel like they had some potential, but there's so much slowing down in terms of like quality of music, in my opinion. Bestie, I mean, subpar. Blackpink, I think they're great, but they suffer so much from the AOA syndrome. Bro, at least AOA used to his music every fucking year. Blackpink barely releases music, and yes, they're an iconic group, of course. The numbers, they sold millions before. I think Finko's or Aces was the last one. That's all cool. But does it matter at the end of the day when you have no staying power in terms of fucking music? Listen, as much as I like to shit on BTS sometimes or GOT7 because of the quality is not there, at least they're constantly releasing music because that's what they want to do. Motherfuckers have made us believe that Blackpink releasing 4 songs every 3 years it's sustainable. It's not sustainable. I don't care if Lisa has 70 million followers on Instagram. That's all cool and all, but it's weird to me. It's crazy to me that the girls don't care about making music as much. Definitely together, you know. They're definitely cool coming back a little bit heavier and getting their millions and disappearing. They seem to be okay with it. But since we have to consider artistically what they're doing, they're not releasing albums. The music is okay, but it hasn't been great in years, in my opinion. I think since 2018. And on top, even though their first album was good, in my opinion, but More Than Good was okay. But that's it. You know, their solos are okay. They're not as good as they could have been. And I think when I can see what Blackpink can do and they haven't, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. So I can't put them GOAT because all the other artists have put 1,000 times the work and the music and the music behind them to actually be where they are. And Blackpink has not done that. If in 5 years they do that, of course they're gonna go in GOAT. For now, or in 2 years, they release 4 EPs, a full-length album, sure. I know that's not gonna happen because Teddy's gonna produce 2 songs and fucking disappear as well and never produce for anybody else in YG. I know he'll do that, but come on, guys. Like, I can't put them in GOATs. I'm sorry. But hey, girls, I think I'm gonna put them in good, but if they keep this for another year or 2, they might go in great because their music is insane. It's always been really good, but I feel like now it's even better than ever. I mean, give credit to Brave Brothers. I thought he was gonna fuck it up. He didn't. Good job by him. Bastards, I mean, they were okay. Bandit. They disappeared, but subpar. Cherry is a good group. They're fun to listen to. CLC, I think they were really good. I think they're great. I think this is a great group, honestly. Just music was always really good, but fuck me. You know, how did Cube fumble the bag so easily? It makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense. How can you fumble the bag this way? It makes no fucking sense to me. But it is what it is. At least Soren is killing it. And I know Elk is doing good in China, so good. I know this group for a fact. Is this? Oh, what group is this? I know this. Oh, what is this? This group. I feel like I know this group, but I can't think of the name. But my mind says they're actually a good group, but I can't remember their name. Anyway, I know for a fact they're a good group. Kpop. Overrated. They're known for a song. That's what they're known for. And apart from that, nothing else. And it was quite annoying even at the time. Dalshabet, I think they were good. I mean, I can't say they were really underrated. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna put them in underrated. Fuck it. 21, obviously GOATs. Because they're like Blackpink, but with music, with albums, and I think consistently they just been better overall, which I can't say about Blackpink. So 21 definitely. I would say for K-pop as a genre, they're definitely more iconic, and I think 21 really made cool concept for girl groups really a cool thing. So they're going GOAT for me. Daya, not utilized property. They had a lot of potential. Their company was shit. Nothing really more to say. They had one of the most popular K-pop idols of her era, and they were able to fumble the bag. Fuck their company. Dreamcatcher, I think, is good. They haven't been doing very good musically, I think, in the last year and a half, but they're really good. I can't say they're underrated because they're killing in terms of views and success, but no, they never were able to go to the next level, which I understand, but the quality of the music has gone down. I wouldn't say significantly, but noticeably. And they're a group that when I went into an album, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, all the songs are really good. I don't feel that way in recent memory. Aries. They were subpar. Ooh, Everglow. I think okay. I mean, after Ladi Dadi. Yeah, not Ladi Dadi, I'm sorry. Not Bomb Shoka. Let me check. I can't think of the name. Oh, no, fuck me. I hate when I can't remember names. Yeah. Ladi Dadi, I mean Everglow. I feel like Everglow after Ladi Dadi, they weren't bad. They released good music, but the recent memory, they're okay. They haven't changed. They haven't improved, and even on the style they were doing good at, they completely changed it to do something else. It seems the company doesn't know where they're going, and they're successful, so it doesn't matter, right? They were the most successful for the group generation. Doesn't matter. EXID, I think they're GOATs. Extremely underrated. Actually, it was always amazing since they rebranded with the girls we know. The 5 girls they had, they've always been amazing. Was it 5 or 6? Was 5, yeah. They've always been amazing. Disbanded too soon. Another group that I don't understand why disbanded, but the most iconic, fan cam comes from this group, from Ani, the most iconic one ever. No one comes close to that, in my opinion. FX, great. I would put them in GOATs personally. I would. In fact, fuck it, it's my tier list. They're going GOATs. Amazing discography. It's one of the most iconic cable idols of all time. People forget Sully, Ember, and Crystal were all part of this group. Luna and Victoria were not idiots, but these three specifically were on another level of success. Crystal was everywhere on television. Ember was everywhere on television at one point. Sully was everywhere. She was a child, prodigy, already in kids in movies and stuff like that. She was insane. And I think Wither delivered the best female discography in K-pop easily, and the more interesting production styles probably ever. But again, SM always has that, regardless of gender. Fiesta, they were bad. They were a bad group. They were funny. Some of them, Chowdo was funny, but the group was shit. Finko. I mean, of course they're going GOATs. From S9, pretty good. They have a bright future ahead, in my opinion. Greyish. Subpar, in my opinion. Nothing really more to say about them. I don't know this. TYE, it's a bad group. Bad music. Chifran, GOATs. They became GOATs, Their staying power was crazy, I never thought they would have that, and they did. Even though after they changed the style, the music was not crazy, and I mean, since they joined the hype with Mag and stuff like that, I think the music was not as good. but it wasn't bad. I mean, again, the change of style they had from their early days to the more so mature kind of like, you know, the classic one where they were in the middle of the street, like in the city, and like filming the videos. These type of songs were great to me. Now I can't remember all because the titles of these songs were super long, but really good albums as well, which I think probably that's their best era in terms of quality of projects. Girl Kind. I mean, they can go in here. Gigi, obviously, probably the greatest female group of all time. Who knows? Definitely the most impactful one of all time. Gugudan, bruh. Underrated. Bro, Gugudan is actually really good. Like, people forgot Gugudan was really good. I have no idea why they never got more popular. It's inexplainable to me. Partially it's also the company, but partially it's just the fans didn't like that product, and I don't get it. I really don't. GWSN, I think they're fucking good. But where are they? They've released a song, an album a year ago, and it disappeared. They're really good. Hello Venus, overrated. High School, fuck me. Alright. For a minute, great. Not a lot of staying power, not a lot of great enough projects. In my opinion, too much the Yona show. Which is the truth, none of the other girls I think ever had a single. As long as they were a group with Yona, which is mental to me. IOI, great group, but project group. ITZY, they've been pretty good, in my opinion. Nothing special for now, but they're good. IZONE, they've been good, not as good as IOI, so they go in here. KDA, bro, who cares? Put them in here. That's it. And this was the list. I have to go take a shit and I have to go to sleep because I have to wake up in 4 hours. But this was the list. The GOATs for me are TWICE, Girls' Generation, Red Velvet, Apink, EXID, GFriend, Finkel, FX21, Mamu, Wonder Girls, and Misai. Again, as I said, explain my video, Blackpink, I don't think it deserves to be here for now. But and Kara definitely for me, no. But I think honestly, apart of me from like what effects and GFriend because it's my personal preference, I think every edit one I've had in this top one list, they should be in everybody's ghost list for female group. They changed the mental. They've all had important like changes in history of K-pop, and it's not just about the number. It's about everything. From me being a great K-pop idol, it's just about the number. It's about the staying power, the influence, the music. Obviously, if you're popular, but where you somebody that when people think of K-pop, they think of you. And honestly, I don't think, for example, even though Blackpink has that, they don't have, for example, other elements which then some of the groups in GOAT have. Like again, Sister was an amazing group, but they didn't have the same staying power as 21, FX, Wonder Girls. Like, because FX was a fundamental group in K-pop history. It's a forgotten group, but they were an important group, a fundamental group. Regardless of that, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna cut here a little bit there. It's not gonna be lower than 40 minutes. You're not gonna see this one for a couple of days because I have an exam in a couple of days, but because of that, I hope you enjoyed it. And see you next time with another one I'm gonna release, which is gonna be the male one. And then at the end of the month, I'm gonna release the other part of reviewing K-pop comebacks, which is gonna end up including the second part of the comebacks that came out in April. If you enjoyed all that, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Who would you have in your GOAT list? Did I miss some of the groups in the ones I'm gonna show you to them, so you can tell me if I missed some of the logos? I don't think I did. I might not know this one. I'm trying to look if there's something that I might have missed. I don't think that's the case. I mean, some of these ones I don't know and I don't remember. Thank you for everything. Hope you enjoyed the video and see you next time.